Where America's population increased by about 0.4% in recent years, these, once the most prosperous states of the U.S., are facing immense population declines day by day. The United States is nevertheless one of the world's superpowers with exceptional technology, housing, industrialization, career opportunities, tourist sites, and economy. However, in recent years, some of the prominent states in America have faced immense downfall due to one reason or another. The sad truth is that some of these states once used to be the United States' backbones but are now not so likely places for natives to live in. Either they are beyond expensive or lack economic stability. People are suffering and even migrating from these states to find their sound future on the other end of America or elsewhere. Here we have brought the top 10 fastest dying states in the United States. States that are getting worse at an alarming rate. And if you are planning to move there, it's your sign to back off now. This video will tell you why. Without wasting any more time, let's dive in. Number 10. California. The famous and untimely state of the United States. California might be a fascination for travelers, but the same cannot be said for the natives. Gone are the days of technology booms and gold rush when California used to see growth like never before. Now the state is in water with a highly unsustainable lifestyle nobody can afford easily. As of 2023, almost 38,965,193 people left California, which makes around a 0.2% drop in population as compared to 2022. One of the major factors causing this rapid loss of population is the cost of living and its crumbling infrastructure. It's not only about expensive housing and bills. In fact, all the other necessities like groceries, transportation, and health are just beyond unaffordable for people living there. Besides ordinary natives, many famous landowners, YouTubers, and celebrities left California thanks to its unaffordable living. The state is also not a good spot for business owners either. From 2018 to 2022, almost 352 businesses relocated from California to other states. Let's take the example of the famous Tesla owner Elon Musk, who also moved his factory from California to Texas in 2020. The horrible future of California says it all why you should never choose California as your happy living state. Number 9. Pennsylvania. The hub of natural resources like coal and gas. Pennsylvania is losing its spark and reputation at the hands of high taxes and lack of fiscal stability. From 2021 to 2022, the state lost 0.32% of its population as people migrated from big cities of Pennsylvania, like Philadelphia, to other states with more stability. However, other reasons place Pennsylvania in a not-so-good phase. The unemployment rate in the state is 7.4%, causing a serious rise in jobless people. Things had not always been so bleak for the state. In fact, it was once the land of opportunities and jobs. But now the rapid rise of governmental taxes and bills has been a pain in the natives' back. All these factors work together to make the state a poor place in the U.S. Especially the people living in the Appalachian Mountains and northern parts are dirt poor. For all those who have jobs, their salaries are even below the average median income of $61,744. So if your goal is to move to a state just to earn a handsome lifestyle, Pennsylvania might give you a tough time. Number 8. Oregon. Oregon is home to scenic landscapes, lush green fields, and staggering views of coastlines and mountains. Sadly, the state is not as perfect as it seems to be. Yes, its beauty is not less than a paradise, but beauty is not enough for a good lifestyle. From 2021 to 2022, about 0.38% of people left Oregon at a rapid rate. Part of the reason is Oregon's over-the-moon prices and unaffordable housing. The people living there spend a massive percentage of their income on housing. Among the 100% population, only 25% of households can afford the cost of buying a new home. Besides, Oregon shares some unpopular and strange policies that sometimes put the Oregonians in a troubling situation. For instance, the state uses cuts to police policy. People are unable to financially make ends meet while living in Oregon. That's why most of them are moving to Texas and other parts of the US where housing is affordable and expenses are low. Number 7. Rhode Island. Famous for its historical significance, tourist sites, and deep ties with water, Rhode Island just stepped onto the list of rapidly dying states in the US. Just like many other declining states, Rhode Island, too, is beyond unaffordable for the natives. The state faced a massive decline of 0.3% in population between 2021 and 2022. It is a huge number for the island as it is the US's smallest state among all. No doubt the state offers a diverse and appealing living experience, but nobody can afford to cherish it. A median house is worth around $462,000, which is 30% of the average person's income, making it 133% higher than the national average. Moreover, the state is really bad at economic growth. It is not at all a good option to choose to start small businesses. It is a flop under such conditions. So if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, maybe you can have some good days in Rhode Island, but after that, you need to migrate to another state to earn what you spend on the island in some days. Number 6. Mississippi. Where the world has reached the moon, Mississippi seems to stay still in time with the least modifications and improvements of facilities and infrastructure. Recently, the state has faced a decline of 0.32%, which makes around 9,500 people. But for a state with a total of 2.99 million people, 9,500 in a year is still a big number. One of the major reasons making people leave Mississippi at a higher rate is the lack of facilities, technology, and resources. Above all, the low income rates that don't meet the standards for a good living are what make people frustrated about living there. The increasing poverty and poor economic rate are now getting beyond the limits of the natives. With a poverty rate of 19.4%, the country ranks Mississippi as the second poorest state. At the start of the same year, the poverty rate was 12.8%, and it increased to a higher rate within the same year. That's more than alarming for the frustrated natives. Moreover, the average median income of a family of 4 people is around only $74,000. Just like the state's rank in the poverty list, it secures the second worst economic state position among all the other states in the U.S. The natives are literally fed up with the lack of quality schools and affordable healthcare. That is what makes them move from the state even if they have been living there for a long time. Number 5. Hawaii. A beautiful beach destination for tourists coming from all around the globe, is no longer a happy place for many natives. The state lost a staggering 0.48% of its population, equivalent to 7,000 people, recently. One of the major reasons for the rapid decline of the state is unaffordable housing and other necessities of life. In fact, Hawaii is the country's top state with the highest cost of living. The average living index of Hawaii is a staggering 179 compared to the U.S. average of 100. Not only that, the state ranked high in groceries, transportation, and health services. However, it ranked immensely high in housing with an average index of a shocking 309. Let's take the example of a recent median house sale that is sold for a staggering $702,200, while the average income of a person is $83,200. Number 4. Louisiana. The epitome of a rich and fascinating blend of French, Spanish, and African culture is not on good terms with the natives. The poor state lost 37,000 people in recent years, making the percentage of 0.8%. Sadly, the state seems to be on the same ground as Mississippi, having an extreme poverty rate of 19.6%, or we can say every 1 of 5 people is poor in Louisiana. The major loss to the state was due to fewer work opportunities, giving a boost to high unemployment rates. It also affected the economy of the state, and it seems to be suffering since 2010. Now it's 2024, almost 14 years, but the state doesn't seem to improve anyway. It has become poorer over the years. It wouldn't be wrong to say that Louisiana is the worst state to live in the U.S. The disastrous situation there doesn't appear to turn well anytime soon, which is alarming for the natives and those hoping to head towards this state. Most of the immigrants are young people who are moving either for a promising qualification or a handsome job after their graduation because Louisiana is not a good option at all. Number 3. West Virginia. West Virginia, or the Mountain State, lost around 0.84% of its population in recent years. It makes almost 10,000 people move out of the state to find a better lifestyle elsewhere. The state only consists of 1.78 million population, yet it is not a perfect place for the natives. What can be the reason behind this? The state is good at some points as compared to the other declining spots of the U.S. For instance, West Virginia has the lowest cost of living, and that's what people usually look for. But there's one reason making people relocate: the state's worst economy. The U.S. ranked West Virginia as the fourth worst economic state among all the others in the country. Moreover, the state lacks good job opportunities, leaving youth jobless. Then what's the use of the lowest living cost even if you do not have a job with not even the lowest income? These facts place the state as the fourth poorest state in the U.S. with a percentage of 16.8%. Just like Mississippi, West Virginia is not a nice place to raise a family, especially the children who do not have access to quality schools and sound education. Seems like the 10,000 immigrants had enough reasons to move. Number 2. Illinois. The home to the cultural heart of the U.S., Chicago, Illinois is at its worst stage with around 0.82% loss of population in recent years. This percentage converts into a staggering 104,000 people, which is a massive number. Most of these residents move from Chicago as compared to the other metropolitan cities around the state. Almost 39% of people leaving Chicago do so because of the city being high taxes and an expensive lifestyle. But that is not the only reason for people leaving Chicago, particularly as the other cities share the same grounds on expensive taxes and high cost of living. The state has the second highest property tax rates in the U.S. Another thing making people leave the state is Illinois' poor economy, which has been struggling since the pandemic. The state is not a stable place to reside or manage your day-to-day living under budget. Even if you manage to do that, the taxes and expenses will make you move one day or another. Number 1. New York. The Empire State of New York, with several significant places and amenities, including the Liberty Statue, is on the edge right now. This state faced the biggest population loss of all time, which sent shivers down the U.S. spine. As of the reports, New York lost 0.91% of its population from 2021 to 2022, which is equivalent to 80,000 people. As can be guessed, the major reason behind this massive decline is the state's highest tax rates. The state shares a total tax burden of 12.47%, which makes it the highest tax burden state in the entire country. If we compare this tax burden to the lowest tax burden state, Alaska, it is only 5%. Besides taxes, the cost of living in New York is nevertheless higher with an immense index of 125. Also, the housing index is 173, which is 73 times more than the median national limit of 100. As of 2023, the median house in New York is sold for a staggering $819,900 to $400,000 more than the U.S. median house rate of $488,850. The rent is also expensive, making it the second highest rental state after Hawaii. Renting one room in New York costs around $1,678, which is way too much. Most people moving from New York are opting for remote work, so they are not particularly concerned with their jobs and earnings. However, the expenses of living in New York are what made them worry. In fact, as of 2020, the total workforce in New York decreased at a higher rate as most people opted for remote opportunities. By 2021, the state already initiated a population decline line, and the years after were not too good for New York. Even though the U.S. is the dream destination for many people residing around the globe, not all states of the U.S. are worth living in or even moving to. The decline of these states is already on the edge, and nothing good is coming anytime soon. So it is not a good move to step into these states to find a sound lifestyle. However, the decline of states like Hawaii, New York, and California would be alarming for the U.S., as these states play a crucial part in the country's economy. Any harm or loss to these states is a direct pinch to the U.S. infrastructure it has been residing on for centuries. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Till the next time, peace out.